3, 2, whiz on. What's up, everybody? We're live Tuesday night, episode 62 of the Young Lion TV podcast. And we're going to talk about a lot of things going on. We might do some live music. You're watching Young Lion TV. Let's go.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, won't you get up and stop fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
All right. Yep, it's Tuesday night, so we're going to talk about some things. There's a lot of things going on right now. As we do every Tuesday, we're live at True Sound Studios in Camden, New Jersey. And I got my brothers here. I got Jake Evans. I got the half black, half Indian, Mr. James Garcia, and Rachel Rota on the ones and twos. And Moan should be with us shortly. He's on his way in. Had to go to his stepson's graduation. So, I mean, yeah, graduation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eighth grade.
Yeah, so I want to say what's up to a couple people in the chat already. I see Kathleen Stiles. I see Steve Hansberger. I see Joe Kenny, Al Nafis Harden. Kathleen says, hey, guys, great to see you. Great to see you, too. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys give it a like, a thumbs up. Share this video so that people know that it's happening right now. We're going to be premiering a new song that we put out. It just came out yesterday. And it's very relevant for the times right now. But in the meantime, make sure you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And, hit us up in the chat room. You can chime in on the conversation, everything that we're going to talk about this evening. And also you can go to our Patreon anytime you like, patreon.com/YoungLionTV, and become a member there. Also, Jatan.com for merch and music. So let's start out by premiering this song. This song is called Beautiful Eyes. We played it live last week on the podcast. And that's the nice cover artwork that Moan did. And they're going to flag us for this because our distributor always flags our videos when we play our own music, which is hilarious. But hopefully you guys enjoy this. We'll play it a little bit and see what we got. 1 second. Gene Anderson says, good evening. Good evening to you as well. Trish Flynn, what's up? Michael Nino, what's up? Miss you at soccer. We're going to play this song that we just put out.
Why do we turn away when the truth's been staring in our face? Maybe we don't want to know what's on the other side, but we won't ever know until we try. So much is going on across this land. We can't understand what's been happening, my friends, 'cause we don't want to know what's on the other side. Oh, no one wants to know. We're preoccupied, worried about our lives, living in vain to make everything right. Beautiful eyes, open and fine. Beautiful eyes are yours and mine. Living on for the day when this week is done. Then we're gonna dance our cares away till the morning comes. 'Cause we don't want to know what's on that other side. Yeah, it's easier just to go on like everything's alright. Alright, alright, but is it really alright? You
So that's a new one. That's called Beautiful Eyes, and it's that's called The Lion King. And Moon walks in the building. Look right here, Moon. Come slide around here. Your mic is here.
Moon walks into the line.
Boom.
Good job, man.
Take that one. Yeah, man.
Good job. I like it.
You like it?
I like it. Very 80s feel to it.
Yeah, definitely. We reached back to our childhood for that one. Brought out the 80s feel.
I like the production.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we that song is that's like one of the first songs I remember Jake sitting down and writing at the piano.
This is Jake written?
Yeah. But even there it is right there. That's the artwork that Moan did. It's available everywhere on Spotify, on Apple Music, all that good stuff. That's the page there on the Instagrams. You can follow us. But yeah, so Jake, we've had that song forever, and
I've heard it before.
Yeah, and Jake, we've done it live. We've done it at shows.
Different feel.
Yeah. Right. And Jake was kind of like, it didn't feel like it was time to release it yet. He was like, yeah, I feel like it's for another time. You know what I mean? And then as all of this has been going on, and like the production, I remember I was working on that on a flight somewhere, and I showed it to you guys, and you guys were like, yeah, man, that's the feel. And then it's just funny that now all this is going on. We were thinking about releasing this for a while now, and then all this is going on, and it's very apropos.
So is the next album going to be like an 80s theme? Because so far,
right?
So far, I'm like, yo, what's going on here?
That has been the vibe a little bit. It's
so
been,
white jackets, Don Johnson kind of look.
No, we're
on?
not going to do all that. We're not going to do all that. Oh,
Jake next to a Pontiac Fiero or nothing.
Maybe 80s sonically only. Like we won't do.
No,
the
hey
whole,
man, look,
the
the
Bruno
sound
Mars
is,
with the jerry curl and all of that. You know,
the sound is crisp, man.
Thank you, man.
And I know it's real instruments.
Yeah.
That's why it's like it's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Definitely like a summer.
Yeah,
like
man.
a summer evening jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you, man. Thank
Enjoyed
you.
it.
You good? Good.
Yeah, I'm
What's
good
up,
to go.
man? How did it go?
What's up?
You rushed
Yo,
here?
Oh my goodness! I thought I went there early.
Yeah.
We left the house at like 6:00. The middle school's like literally right there.
Yeah.
But when we got there, it was like mad cars already.
Damn.
It was packed.
I'm surprised they did a graduation. I thought they were like not having those now.
No, it was like sort of like a parade
Oh, okay.
type
Got
of thing.
you.
Right. Stay
so
in the
it
car.
was
Everybody
you
stay
stay
in
in the
your car.
cars. There's teachers. They made signs for them throughout the whole thing. So we went from where the middle school, which is the old high school, it wrapped around past the tennis courts all the way to where the high school is, and then they had a stage set up there. They asked the name of the student, and they put they said the name Jaden, and then they give the certificate.
Yeah.
But it just,
And then will you guys honk the horn or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
I showed up. Everybody had. we didn't get no decorations.
Yeah. Everybody had their cars decorated.
Yo, balloons. Some people had banners made of their child on
like
there.
with pictures
for
and
middle
stuff?
school, going to high
Yeah.
school, bro.
That's what I know. You're thinking the sixth grade. It's not that big of a deal.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's extra. That's
But-
extra. So y'all was getting those "how dare you" looks from the other parents. Like,
You know what I did?
what?
I was like, babe, before
Something
we left the
ghetto.
house.
Something ghetto.
No, I was like, because we played basketball. I was like, grab your jerseys. We could just hang the jersey out.
Yo, that is a moon move right there. Just put his basketball jersey hanging out the window.
Right?
But it was cool, though.
How much did that cost you? Free 99.
Free 99,
Exactly.
baby.
Exactly.
Them banners probably cost like $200.
Yeah. Well, at least it did something for him, though.
What's up to there's a bunch of people watching right now. Hey everybody, make sure you like and share this video, please. We're gonna be talking about a lot of the stuff that's going on. Tia Michelle says, hey, just came on, how are y'all doing tonight? What's the topic for the evening? This evening we're gonna be talking about first of all, we got to get into the incident that happened last week after the podcast where James went out there and had to confront a criminal in the work. But we're also going to be talking about what's going on with we're going to talk about the Dave Chappelle special a little bit,
yeah.
846.
Right.
We'll talk about the CHAZ. If anybody doesn't know what the CHAZ or the CHOP is, it's that
It's a new country.
the new country over there in Seattle.
Seattle.
And we'll talk about what's the updates on coronavirus, all that stuff. But yeah, we got to get into. So we lost camera one. Okay.
And it also has been like very glitchy this entire time. Like,
Camera one?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
like glitching on a frame like very often.
Okay. Well, I'll take a look at that.
Switched on me.
In the meantime, let's talk about what happened last week directly after the podcast ended. Had a nice well, besides all the glitches, we had a good podcast, and then afterwards, you guys are leaving, and James, you go into it while I try to fix this camera.
We're leaving. Me, Jake, Simone, and his little brother. As we're walking out the building where we are, right in the back of is a parking lot. It's actually well lit too.
Yeah.
And I go out there and I look out and I see my car. I see someone in my car, but it's that feeling of, is someone in my car? Like,
Yeah.
So I stop. I look at you guys. Is that my car? I was like, it is my car. And
All you see. Let me just put this in the frame. You see somebody walking out of his car. He has a van, so your side van door was open.
Yes. And I take off, because I want to catch this person. I run over, and the person jumps out. I don't know if it was a man or woman. Turns out to be a woman who was in my car rummaging through my kids' stuff. I grab her. She has a box cutter in her hand. So I know a little jujitsu, a little, So I take her down, and then you guys got the rest of it in the film. But she was essentially like a homeless person. I think she was rummaging around through the car. She popped one of the doors, and I didn't know this, but the door has a safety lock. If you pull it twice, because I didn't manually lock it, if you pull it twice, it opens, and you can get in, and that's how she got in. So,
Yeah.
So the cops were called.
Cops were called. They came. They could. Yeah, my attitude is they just was like, what? Like the guy told me today. He's like, they told me she's gonna be released. I think they just came, did their paperwork. I went to the police station with Jamie. Jamie ran into a guy that he knew. What was that guy's name again? Angel. And that was it. Very uneventful.
Yeah. It was just weird. It was weird because we haven't had any kind of break-ins to any cars or anything.
And ironically, we were talking
years.
about
Yeah, and we've said, yo, this hasn't happened in years.
Yeah. And that was the night.
And then we come out the studio and we see James running full speed in his flip-flops.
Right? Yeah.
Tackles a homeless woman.
Yeah.
It sounds so terrible when you say it.
I was watching the video back as my brother sent it to me.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are you doing in my car? What are you doing in my car? What are you doing? She's like,
Get off.
and she's like, I think she said like she wanted to kill herself or something.
Yeah.
Well, first she screamed rape. She said he's
Yeah.
trying to rape me.
Wait, didn't she say that I'm not gonna stab you? I'm gonna
stab
stab myself.
myself. Yeah.
I want to kill myself.
Right. Because she was grabbing she had the knife in her hand.
Yeah.
So.
I seen the blade. I was actually gonna, while you had her hands, I was gonna grab, but then I seen you yanked it. So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, I wasn't gonna give her a chance. I don't know, even though she's smaller than me, it's still
it's a blade.
Yeah,
Yeah, but she was obviously like out of it.
Yeah.
She was on something.
Yeah, well, that's what I think she was like 53. She's obviously had a rough life.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I was taking her down
I felt bad for her.
Yeah, me
until
too.
it was your car. Then you'd be out there doing Bruce Lee moves.
Nah, I don't know. It was sad to me.
Yeah, it is sad.
Yeah.
But you see that a lot
Yeah,
in this area.
yeah. But I have since I've been coming here, I have never seen.
Yeah.
I never came to the studio when you guys tell me the stories about the stuff. I mean, I would see stuff when I did the work out here for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some things, but nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
randomly.
But
though.
I'm telling you though, you do feel like there is a sense of victimization when someone breaks into your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like you do feel that. That's the second that happened to me in Philly. I was telling Jamie before, and you do feel like a victim when someone take something that's yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and so just to give the audience a little idea of what happened, we found a reenactment video of the incident in question. I didn't want to show the actual video because I didn't want to incriminate anyone. But this is a reenactment that we found that perfectly illustrates what went down.
I gotta see this.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, so Steve ain't tell me nothing.
So that's the crackhead, and James is the police officer.
He hurt me. What is he doing? Look at how he hurt me. Hey, dude, he's not even doing nothing.
Oh my goodness.
That was her, bro. That was her. That was her. What? What's so funny?
Getting requests from my son is funny.
Oh,
Roblox requests.
yeah. So all I know is I hear banging on the door, and James is at the door, and he's like, "You missing all the excitement out there?" And I come outside, and I see 15 cop cars, and I didn't even see the lady because they had already arrested her, so I didn't see it till later, till the video surfaced. But
Then Kyle said, "So why did you accost her? Who accosted who?
who accosted who? Yeah, that was a crazy situation.
Shaniqua said, "F that lady tried to steal from us." Dog, y'all getting soft.
I thought we supposed to all be inclusive and all supposed to be like.
Until they climb in one of y'all cars. Jamie out here. Sorry, I seen y'all play. Y'all competitive as heck.
No, she definitely wouldn't have got away. But that was my car.
Oh, Shaniqua went to church.
So I want to talk about something that we brought up last week. The whole thing with the kente cloths, talking about like the pandering thing. So at the top of the feed, Rach, there's a video of a guy in a kente cloth, and he made a video basically summing up the idea that we were talking about of what these because we were talking about before. All of these videos, we talk about this all the time, like the commercials that you see during all of this stuff going on, the corporations that come out with the Black Lives Matters posts, and the we're with you, we really care about your health, so keep buying stuff from us, and we'll just lay it on your porch, and you won't have to talk to no one. You know what I mean? It's basically just keep buying from us because we care. So this dude made a funny video. I saw it on TikTok, so I just wanted to play it, show this dude some love. Because you had another good video from him that you played for us earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Take the time to say that here at my company, Black Lives Matter. I know we spent all of February virtue signaling, speaking to the black community, but sometimes current events happen. And in order to make sure you social justice warriors continue making me richer, I simply can't stand by and let a situation like this go to waste. Last year, only 9 unarmed black men were shot and killed by the police. But now is not the time for facts. Now is the time for feelings. Please continue destroying your own communities and burning down businesses, as long as they're not mine. We support you acting like hoodlums now more than ever. And we want you to feel comfortable giving us what little money you have left when this is all over. I promise I will continue to publicly support whatever opinions will make you keep liking me. Black Lives Matter, especially when it helps my bottom line to say that. Have a great day. An orange man, very, very bad.
I was watching The Hill. You put me onto them. What's it, Sager and Kristen. And they were talking about that. They were talking about the corporate interest in supporting this movement, and the fact that they only would stay away from it if they knew it could lose them money. But the fact that it doesn't, and then like the whole Nike Colin Kaepernick thing, so it's almost an incentive for them to keep, to pretend like they care. But it's really about the bottom line for them. So that's why that video was hilarious, because it was like, the first thing he says is, "I'm the CEO of every major corporation." What I mean? He starts it with that. And he's just saying like, he's wearing the kente cloth. He's like showing like, I'll pander to anything you want as long as you keep spending your money with me. And that's what these people do. And the problem is we're so quick to want to see someone that's on our team that we jump to support these people that really don't care either one way or the other. You know what I mean? It's all about money to them.
I mean, they care about the money.
Right.
For the love of money.
Exactly.
Money.
And it's all about, that's when you say the bottom line, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
It's about, they're in fear. That's what's funny. Like, they're in a lot of times more fear than most people.
What, the corporations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just the people, not just
the
corporations,
CEOs,
but I mean the people who are leading,
right?
Like a financial fear.
Corrupt.
Yeah. I want to play the next video because this goes right along the lines with that. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it goes right with it. And you would think that the celebrities would learn from that, like, terrible Imagine video that they did. Remember that Imagine video when coronavirus first broke out?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, don't ever do that again.
It made no sense.
Well, they came back with something. They came back with another one. And they said, we got another one for you. Let's roll it.
Responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility for every unchecked moment. For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.
Every blatant injustice, no matter how big or small.
Every time I remained silent.
Every time I explained away police brutality. Or turned a blind eye.
I take responsibility. Black people are being slaughtered in the streets, killed in their own homes. These are our brothers and sisters.
Our friends, our family. We are done watching them die. We are no longer bystanders. We will not be idle. Enough is enough.
I will no longer allow an unchecked moment. I will no longer allow racist, hurtful words, jokes, stereotypes, no matter how big or small, to be uttered in my presence.
I will not turn a blind eye. Going for a jog should not be a death sentence. Sleeping in your own home should not be a death sentence.
Playing video games with your nephew should not be a death sentence.
Shopping in a store should not be a death sentence. Business as usual should not be life-threatening. I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I will stand against hate in love. I will make my presence known.
And killer cops must be prosecuted. They are murderers. We can turn the tide. It is time to take responsibility. Call out hate. Step up and take action.
Come on, Jesse.
How does that make y'all feel watching that? Honestly,
sick.
I mean, some of them might be genuine in their own way.
I don't think any of them are. I think they're all doing what
to
needs to be done.
Of course, but I mean, I'm just saying some of them might feel a little bit like, they want.
Oh, real quick, I want to say what's up. Phoebe and Ian are watching. They said, "Hey guys, it's Ian and Phoebe. What's up, guys?"
Hey.
I don't know, man. I just get like, for you to put that video together is so planned out and so like strategic to me.
Yeah,
it doesn't come
definitely.
off genuine to me. It comes off like you're pandering, like you. This is your way of doing something. Like how many? Because like I said, I was talking to you about this before. Like, ain't none of them in there advocating for black actors to get roles. You know what I mean? Right. They ain't doing that. They just a little video on Instagram and that's it. Ain't none of them like really stepping up. it just seems like a little black and white video with some emotional piano behind it to get you to feel like they really care. You know what I mean? It's all Hollywood wizardry to me.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely felt like acting.
Yeah.
Especially Jesse.
Yeah.
Started that.
It feels kind of like the commercials you see late at night with the save a cat.
Yeah,
save a
dog. That's what it felt like. It felt like the
with Sarah McLachlan.
Sarah McLachlan.
It could, because of the music in the background and stuff.
Right.
Like it feels produced, but it could be genuine. But at the same time, you can't trust this because it like I said, it doesn't feel natural. You know what I mean?
I mean, but that's the problem. Beyond that, it's like when it starts to become, when we're living in a society where it's hard to trust, you gotta look at who's genuine or not.
Right.
Where
it's hard to tell.
That's a problem
because it's become too normal to be sold some shit. It's become too normal to just everyone just accepts the fact that like we know Hollywood's lying to us, we know commercials are lying to us, and that's okay. Well, it's like ethically okay.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think that's what Ricky Gervais did when he spoke out. Was it the Golden Globes?
Yeah, the Golden Globes.
When he made that statement about them, pretending to be
woke,
right? But they're not,
right?
You know what I mean? And their actions show that,
right? They take the roles from the directors that have bad reputations. They take, what did he say? If ISIS started a streaming service, they'd call their agents,
right?
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of what you see. They see an opportunity, they virtual signal, they jump on it, and it's done with. They've done their part,
right?
You know what I mean?
I will say though that some people are so blind, and I think we can all can relate to this, that we can be blind to a point where we don't see something because of our pride,
right?
And you're so removed from something doesn't make it right. But I'm just from the other. There's like two sides.
They
to it,
genuinely feel how
like maybe some of them do, but at the same time, people don't want to see. Because of pride, but again, those aren't the type of people, regardless, that we need to be telling us, leading us, and that's the point.
I'm sorry, I do think people have waken up because the video was so graphic. George Floyd's death.
Yeah,
I do think a lot more people have waken up and see like, wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but when the celebrity culture takes over, it takes a different direction, because then they're basically doing the least amount to get the most amount of attention.
Well, what it feels like the powers that be take their influencers and say, all right, let's corral everyone around this idea. We need you to get them in line. You know what I mean? They follow you. They listen to you. So you get out there and get the narrative going. You know what I mean?
You got to always find who's behind them putting this out, who put it out.
And part of that is the corralling of people's emotion, because I think a lot of people do feel frustrated and want to do something. But when the celebrities or the political pundits or the leaders, the people who are in front of the camera take the direction, you're like, well, you feel no need to do anything because they're kind of doing anything. So it dies down. The initial feeling you have, we got to do something about this, and you start seeing them do it. It's a way to crowd control via the social media.
But that's a false sense of doing, because it's just you getting out and saying stuff on a platform.
No, it is.
You know what I mean? Like anyone can. It's like the black square thing. It's like anyone can do that. That's the least amount of effort possible.
What are we doing in the first place? Like, what are we supposed to be doing?
I mean, a lot of people are doing what they think they should be doing, which is going out there and protesting and trying to let the make a real issue be heard to the people that they believe have the power to change those things. You know what I mean? So that's what they are doing, that they believe they should be doing. Phoebe said, where is the consistency? Which is very true. I wanted to also talk about, did you guys hear Bachelors is now doing their first black bachelor?
I heard it.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Their first black bachelor. How many seasons have they been on the air? 19 seasons. And now, at this time, they choose to do the first black bachelor.
Right.
Doesn't that sound convenient to you?
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound like
Trying to fix this shot layer here, and it's not working.
it's not working? Don't worry about it. But doesn't that sound convenient? Like in the midst of all of this going on, yeah. Here's the that's the dude right there. He looks kind of safe Negro-ish, huh?
Is he a former contestant? Or?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Was this in the works before, or
bro? I don't think so.
No,
I think they got into the boardroom
Right.
and was like, "Listen," because didn't they just have some situation where like one of the bachelorettes just got caught saying the N-word on a live stream or
that
something?
was before this started?
Right.
She was caught.
Right. So think about that. Now so you don't think that's going to come back to bite them?
Right.
They've only had one black bachelorette, right? And that was like the lowest rated season ever.
Right.
And now, like, so their audience seems kind of racist. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like now, after 19 seasons, after all this is going on, they decide to do the Black Bachelor.
I heard Andrew Schultz and I don't know the other guy's name. They try to explain
Akash.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
They try to explain that demographic, they see themselves with that, and it makes sense.
Right.
Well,
We talk about that all the time, right? Because I heard them talk about that too, and they mentioned something that we always talk about, and it's that phenomenon where, especially with white women and other cultures too, Indian women, Asian women do the same thing, where they're young and want to have fun, they will, play the field and sleep around with black dudes. But then when it's time to settle down and get married,
no names mentioned.
Yeah, no names mentioned.
Right.
But when it's time to settle down and get married, that's not even in the equation. So when they watch The Bachelor, people watching The Bachelor want to see someone that they would possibly marry.
Right. Well, that's the whole point of it. Is,
Right.
So they kind of want to make it real a little bit.
Right,
you know what
right.
I mean?
So they women watch that show and they insert themselves psychologically into the.
Right.
If that was me, I would pick such and such. Right. Todd is such a catch. You need to, pick Todd. So has there been black dude? I've never seen The Bachelor.
I've never
ever.
seen an episode.
Has there's been black dudes on it?
Not
just
picked,
but I'm saying like one of the dudes, right?
Of course.
But they're in the first rounds, and she has. I could just imagine it like she has to pick a couple black dudes just to not seem racist at first. Like she's like,
They probably make her.
But it's not really a show.
She's like I want to pick Brad and Jeremy and Tyrone. Okay, you can get to the next round. Tyrone's like, yeah. But 5 episodes in, Tyrone knows his days are numbered. He ain't gonna make it that far. But now that it feels like such a convenient pick now to have the first black bachelor.
Right. That's a good thing. George Floyd died. A cop kneeled in his neck. You know what we'll do to fix this? Get a black bachelor.
Right. What you shaking your head? What you shaking your head at? Yeah.
It's not a convenient pick. You have to do it.
You have to do it, right?
Yeah.
It's like
they have to.
They'd cancel The Bachelor. Otherwise.
The Bachelor's over. They cannot have
It's
a
too
Bachelor
late.
number 20 if 19 wasn't a black guy.
Right.
Like, it's not happening.
Right.
Even though no black people watch The Bachelor.
They did it out of fear.
Black people
not
was
be
watching
canceled.
Flavor of Love. Remember that show?
Some black people watch. I'm sure there has. to
Oh,
be
of course,
some,
yeah. But there's a reason why the black girl episode was the lowest rated one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never seen it, so I don't know.
Will there be ever an Indian bachelor?
I don't have no idea.
The Indians are not protesting.
Yeah, the Indians don't care. They got their own bachelor.
What about an Asian? Well, Indians are Asian.
Yeah, but Indians, they probably got their own
Of course,
channels
of
with
course,
Bachelor on it. They ain't worried about what. That's the thing. That's the difference between like we always talk about that Indians, blacks, Asians. The Indians and the Asians don't give a shit about what white people are doing or black people. They're like, we got our own thing. You know what I mean? We got our own TV shows.
Right.
We got our own music videos. We got our own music industry.
They do care, but they have another country and resource that because they watch the movies from India or from Asia, so they're connected. We Black Americans don't have anything to connect.
We don't
to,
have that. Yeah,
so
we can't watch African shit.
Right.
Like if we're not
'Cause
connected to that.
So
at all.
it's Hollywood, right?
Right.
Bollywood.
Yeah.
And then there's African, which is like close on Bollywood's heel.
Right.
There's all these like B movies produced in Africa. It's like
Nigeria.
terrible. Nigeria.
Nigeria,
yes.
yeah.
Nigeria. Terrible.
I've seen it.
And it's like
I think they play some of them on Netflix.
Yes.
I've seen.
Yes.
Same thing with the music industries
It looks-
out there too.
it looks like an episode. It looks like Black Dynamite but on purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
With less better settings. Yeah.
Oh man. But Korea has it too. We talked about the whole what's that? K-pop industry. Like that.
That's
that
huge.
It's so huge there.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's their own
here,
thing.
It trickled into here too.
Yeah,
but it hasn't crossed over completely.
And it hasn't. I watched were you talking about the documentary that I watched where those American guys tried to make it in Korea as K-pop? No, as K-pop artists.
Oh no, I didn't. I saw the one with it's all like LA based, New York based producers.
Okay.
That are over there, and they're here. They're struggling. They're starving. They're living in apartments, 5 people. Over there, they're multimillionaires. They got Korea. It's like amazing.
But I saw one with white dudes that are obsessed with K-pop and like went through the plastic surgery. Like they're in the dance classes and they moved out there.
Right.
And
Hold up.
Yeah, this is a real thing.
How do they look?
They look like they're trying to be. They look like they're trying to be those K-pop type looks.
But K-pop, they get plastic surgery to look like white.
Right.
So they get plastic surgery to look like Asians to look like white.
Yeah, pretty much. And the style of dress and they do all the dance moves and the singing. But when I was watching, the Koreans don't accept them because they're like, it seems phony. You know what I mean? It seems like it's because to white people it's like, oh, we can do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's a thing that the Koreans look at as authentic. What's this? This the dudes?
Yo. He looks like he look like Hood.
Yeah.
Looks like Michael Jackson.
I think it started out, from what I was seeing in the thing, it started out as a Korean person who was going to college here, wanted to do for their thesis statement or their doctorate or something. They were trying to see if they could get a American white group to make it as a K-pop group in Korea. If they took them there, got them the same choreographers, the same vocal coaches, all of the clothes the same, and then these dudes ended up just like moving out there and loving it, even though I guess her paper was done with. But they're like struggling out there to make it now because they're like performing at people's bar mitzvahs or whatever they have out there in Korea.
Bar mitzvahs in Korea.
the Korean bar mitzvah. Sure. But it was funny.
Korean Jewish.
It was funny to watch, man. It was just interesting. Right. But yeah, like that whole culture is different. They don't, and that's what you're saying is like the black culture here. We don't have that.
No,
we don't have that. So it's like,
but I mean, essentially, the music, the a lot of the art form did come from black culture. It's been hijacked. You know what I mean? So,
right.
We don't have anything we don't own anything. So we have to,
So we don't get a black bachelor till the 19th season. That's basically
until all this chaos
what that
happens.
means. Yeah,
we get the Love and Hip Hop or.
It takes for people to burn down cities to get. Yeah, we get Love and Hip Hop.
Fine,
we
get a black bachelor.
Fine. Is he going to be allowed to date white women on The Bachelor? Though?
I don't see a cast of all black women.
You don't see it?
I don't see it.
You think it'll be mostly black women?
No.
Latinas?
No, I think it'll be mostly white women.
It'll probably be mixed.
It'll probably be. I would say a good half and half, but it would be. I think so because even when the black girl went, there was mostly white guys.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think those executives.
Well, I think the demographic for that audience is predominantly white. So,
yeah.
I just think.
Jake is like, who cares?
No, it's just like all this is just
about.
Happening because of what is happening.
Right. But that's the point. Is like they're only doing this because.
Right.
But people were going to sit back and be like, "Wow, we finally got a black bachelor! I'm so happy."
They're only
you know
doing
what I mean?
this because
now I can watch. Like I can see people tweeting that now.
A guy's running out with a toaster. A guy's running with a toaster. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I'll say a guy's running out with a toaster, right? And like in the background on like the TV in the TV department, they're like, and now coming up next, the new black bachelor. He's like, a new black bachelor. Let me put this toaster back.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted all along.
Right, that's all I wanted. Now we have equality. What were you about to say?
No, your phrase. We're only doing this because Roger Goodell is only telling all the teams to sign Kaepernick now because
right now, yeah, that's the other
They
thing.
see an
Now all of a
opportunity.
sudden,
They see
Kaepernick
they
needs to
see an
get
opportunity.
Now he's going to get signed. It's like, really, what are we doing?
he really don't even want to play. I don't think he want to play.
And like, if you're black and you see that as a win, you're falling for it.
Right.
You're falling for the trick. You're falling for the trick. If you
Is he even good enough to play?
Who knows?
Hey, I think he's good enough to be a backup.
But what
Somewhere.
the point is that they see it as an opportunity to cash in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nike did it with Kaepernick, and it worked. People, I saw everyone tweeting, "I'm gonna go get me some Nikes right now," because they tweeted out a picture
I'm
of
wearing
his
Nike
face.
right now.
You know what I mean? So it was a win for them, and that's why these companies do it, because they know that, oh, okay, this is gonna make everyone buy my stuff.
Right.
If I show them we care, Black Lives Matter.
I think that's what people don't understand is the machine behind it and how they use any opportunity or any situation or circumstances to benefit.
Yep.
That's just what it is. You know, 1 minute they're telling you, do not go outside. COVID is ravaging the nation. Next minute they're like, hey, get out there and riot.
Yep.
You know, which one is it? You know, and obviously, it's the, like Jon Stewart just said this. Christian and Sager talked about this.
I saw that. Yeah.
And it was about the 24-hour news cycle. They have to tell you something.
Right. He said something very insightful, which was back when that first started, Russia was the enemy. So they had a constant news story talking about Russia. And everyone would tune in to watch because it was Russia's going to bomb us. Russia's going to get us. Russia's in space before we are. You know what I mean? But then after the Cold War kind of slowed down, they had to come up with a new enemy. So then the new enemy became the other news channels, that were opposing their views.
And the war on drugs began,
right,
showing the inner city criminals and all this. It was constant fear and terror. you know?
Right. So it was constantly, now listen to us because we'll give you the best news. Don't listen to them because they align with hate and bigotry.
Right. And they
You know
both
what I
do
mean?
it because
they all do it.
Yeah, Fox has their agenda, and they all do it. The Daily Show actually became a news source for kids, which he actually said plenty of times. I'm terrified if people are listening to me. I'm just a guy with questions. I don't think he was just a guy.
No,
he was. He definitely had his.
He definitely. What's his real last name?
Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, his real last name.
I don't know his last name.
John Stewart.
That's
That's
not
not
his
his
real
real
last
name.
name?
Oh, okay.
No?
No. He definitely
stage name.
He had his agenda,
Yeah.
of course.
And then you look at what the show is now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
right.
It's what happened.
I don't get getting
John Stewart Leibowitz.
Leibowitz. Leibowitz.
Right.
Jewish.
Yeah. So I want to get to, we were just talking about Schultz and Akash. I want to play his latest rant and get some commentary on it from you guys, because I thought it was very clever. He's been doing these rants that are rivaling a lot of these shows, and I think it was very clever, the points that he made.
Right. Let me see if I can.
Phoebe said, "What about was your child on The Bachelor? What would you do to see? What would you want to see happen?"
And then we know, and we could tell them from experience because we've been on them shows.
It's not real.
There's no
they stage.
And I mean, it's almost known now that people only go on there to start a career.
Right.
Like nobody's really on there.
I mean, if you believe that, because you ever look at their titles, it's like neurosurgeon, doctor, lawyer, all these high-profile titles. Your job is giving you that much time to come out here and play the fool.
Right.
Get out of here.
Right.
No, this is called model.
Right.
Actress who couldn't make it.
Right.
Guy who looked good at the gym.
Right.
You know, get
Something
outta
called vacation time, James.
here. Vacation. Sure.
So there's the video right under the Bachelor article. Yep. Yeah.
Schultz is now like the go-to guy.
Yo,
He's funny.
I've been
Starting this from the beginning?
Yeah, just play it from the beginning. It's not that long. But yeah, he's been dropping some really good stuff. I've been following him for a while.
Right.
Oh, I like the little position in there. Yeah.
Nice.
Confederate flags and statues need to be taken down, and it's not because they're racist. This week, in things that should have happened in 1865, NASCAR officially banned the Confederate flag from all races, specifically the white one. Bubba Wallace, NASCAR's only black driver and the first one to get pulled over during a race, said the flag doesn't belong here. He's right. It belongs on Candace Owens' lace front. Some people didn't take well to this news. The worst NASCAR driver of all time, Ray Ciccarelli, also known as the David Duke of Hazard, officially retired, or shall we say surrendered, after the flag banning. In his statement, which looks like it was typed by Michael J. Fox, he complained that removing the flag catered to one group. Yeah, Americans. And if you don't like that, Ray, you can go back to your country. Oh, that's right. You don't have one anymore because we scorpions snatched your slave-loving asses back 450 years ago. Nothing about Ray's behavior surprises me. I get why he's bald, to avoid the hat hair. And I get why he likes Confederates, because they both love losing. I mean, they like losing so much, they do reenactments of the losing. But here's the question. Why the fuck is the Confederate flag still around at all? The Confederacy is obviously hateful. The guy who made the flag even said so himself. But the hate isn't the reason it should come down. All the Confederate statues should come down because they're traitors. They tried to divide and conquer our country. Fuck them. Why are we honoring treason? These guys lost the war. Nathan Bedford Forrest, Confederate general and first Grand Wizard of the KKK, probably a coincidence, has stuff named after him everywhere. Forest high schools, forest streets, forest statues. That's why black people don't go camping. Forests haven't been welcoming to them. I mean, why do we have military bases named after these guys?
James, go.
Like, if your girl cheated on you and got the guy's name tattooed on her back, you'd be like, take that shit off, you treasonous slut. Fort Hood? That's too far, man. I always thought y'all were the ones who were like, we're too easy on kids, no more participation trophies. What the fuck do you think these statues are? They're not for winning, especially this statue of Forrest. It looks like the Burger King. But this is where people get confused, because these well-intentioned kids are like, we're taking down these hateful and racist statues. We should take down all hateful and racist statues. And I understand the sentiment, but we're not removing the statues because they're hateful and racist. Because if that was the case, we'd have to remove like every statue in America. I go so far to say that most monuments in the world honor someone who probably had some hateful tendencies. The pyramids were built to honor pharaohs that were slave drivers. Gandhi called Africans savages. Einstein said the Chinese were filthy. JFK and MLK were cracking cheeks while their wives watched the kids. FDR locked up a bunch of Japanese people. Our founding fathers owned slaves and knew it was wrong. And your grandparents were probably racist. Are you gonna take down their tombstones? No, you're not. But now people are getting crazy. They defaced a statue of a guy who tried to abolish slavery. And a Christopher Columbus statue was beheaded because it offended Native Americans. You know what else is offensive to Native Americans? America. Yeah. I don't think they're that happy when they see you driving on stolen land in your Jeep Cherokee. If we take down all the Columbus statues, we should be consistent and remove the District of Columbia. We should remove Columbus, Ohio, too. Matter of fact, we should do that anyway. It's a shithole. We gotta understand why the statues were built in the first place. The Confederate statues are celebrating crimes against America. They're honoring traitors who attempted to split the nation to protect their ownership of slaves, killing 1 million Americans in the process. The other people I mentioned are in no way perfect. They're incredibly flawed, but their statues were not erected to celebrate their flaws, but rather to honor their contributions to society. Contributions we still admire to this day. That's why we gotta keep that monument of George Washington's peace. It's easy to judge people in the past by our current moral standard, but if the standard is too high, no statue will ever exist. We're all hypocrites across the board. We want to take down the statues of people for their fucked up behavior, but yet we continue to support Nike and Apple. We all know sweatshops and slavery are wrong, but yet we're still wearing Jordans and maybe even watching this video on an iPhone made with cobalt mined by slaves. We like to condemn the evil system, but simultaneously reap the benefits. Just like the founding fathers. We're no better. Your iPhone should cost $10,000, but it doesn't because of exploitation. People are dying so you can watch porn on the toilet. We judge the people of the past, and the people in the future will judge us. Time turns everyone into a bigot, and you know what? That's good. That means society is getting better. Hopefully your grandkids look back on you and think, wow, my pappy allowed migrant workers to toil in the fields for little to no money and use a cell phone with slave cobalt and thought a gay tiger keeper drug lord was worth binge watching? What the fuck was wrong with him? So what do? We could consider the reasons the statues were erected in the first place and recognize that the statues don't embody every action these people have ever done, but rather are symbolic of the positive contributions they made. We could stop teaching that historical figures are gods and recognize that these people were incredibly flawed, and we could judge them within the morality of their time. We could offer the same empathy to the people of the past as we can only hope the people of the future will offer us. Or we can see ancient relics that have done little to help black people and maybe even cause brutality in the cities they govern and cover them with a kente cloth. Racism solved. Thanks.
He's good.
Thoughts?
Confederate flag.
Thoughts on that?
I'm a bigot.
I think he said it well, man.
I'm wearing Nike.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is that it's so easy for everyone to go around tearing stuff down and ripping down what they have deemed, racist and bigotry, but they don't see how they live in that same judgment. You know what I mean? They could easily be pointed the finger at as well. You know, and that's
you can't be a judge when you're a victim of it. Because you're still going to be a victim of it. You have to come outside of that victimization,
right?
And I think a lot of people they're judging from the place of this is wrong. Either they're a victim of it because it's the people they're looking at are victims of it, so they become a victim of it in that way, or they're just a victim of it. Period.
Right.
But regardless, like just because you have a good intention doesn't make it a good thing, and it doesn't make it a just act.
Mm-hmm.
And most people are caught up in justice, but they don't even understand what that actually looks like.
Right. And not only that, they don't like it when that justice is turned on them.
Right.
Because that form
that justice.
That's what I'm saying. That form of justice.
Yeah. Right.
That form of justice it can be turned on anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing about what I learned recently about the statues in the South, most of those statues were not erected until the Civil Rights Act was passed.
Right.
So it was an attempt
to defiance.
Yes, defiance against civil rights, because most of those statues, from what I researched and found, because I wanted to know about them, were donated by the iron miners companies and coal miner companies. It was donated by the Southern billionaires and people who felt like they wanted to honor these Southern governors, secessionists or whatever they were.
Donated for what cost?
Right. In spite, like you said, despite the movement, because
but not only that, you don't think they were getting kickbacks from politicians. You don't think they were getting,
of course,
deregulations that they wanted. You know, what I mean?
think people are assuming these things are old and ancient, and they're from the antebellum era.
Right.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not. It's relatively new.
It's relatively new. Yeah. You're talking about during Jim Crow. During
Most of them. Most of them were erected at that time.
Right.
I've heard people defending why they wave the flag or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them in Williamstown. I've heard them say that it's a part of history. And,
Right.
But that's why I like that he because every time he does these rants, he hits both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't ever just say like, you don't ever get the sense that he's like he's taking a side. It's like he's showing the middle ground where it's like, what are we holding on to this flag of a country that is literally wanted to secede from the nation? You know what I mean?
Right.
Why are we doing that? Why?
It's all just pride.
Yeah.
And it's pride in like what is the pride?
Right.
In?
Even the idea of a flag, when you really think about it, it's pride.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's a banner.
Yeah.
It's a banner to look towards. Like it can be something good. You know what I mean? Like you can look at the flag and say, well, this represents these things.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what a flag is supposed to represent. Like when you look at the American flag, what does it represent?
Well, to those people in the CHAZ,
it
represents
fascism.
What I'm saying is, like at its core, it represents freedom.
Yeah.
And how do we get free? True justice, true righteousness. You know what I mean?
What's true righteousness?
True righteousness comes from the Father in heaven. And I mean, freedom comes from God. So
true freedom.
And it's one nation under God.
Right.
So we have like all these markers that we can look towards in our history, you know, that we can raise our country up on, the standard that has been set in place beforehand. You know, they lost. The Confederates lost because they weren't supposed to win. Because that wasn't the standard that this country was built off of. You know, and those things had to be reconciled.
And they don't want to. They're not really willing to look inward, because even though that may represent everything for you in that way, for someone it meant a different thing. You know, you don't want to even slow down to even consider that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, America or Confederate
I'm
flag?
talking about the Confederate flag.
Because the Confederate flag, like, even if it means something to you, like, no. Let's be clear. Like, this is what it is. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
they're attempting to defend it. The racialist mindset of today is not like the racialist mindset of yesterday. Yes, the racialist mindset 50 years ago would tell you exactly what it means, because there was no, you were not going to get fired. There was not going to be no twist.
There was no repercussions.
There was no repercussions for you. But the racialists of today will just tell you it is about honoring those and my ancestors.
But isn't that the same thing as somebody trying to tell you that they're a woman when they're a man?
It's trying to get you to understand their.
Rachel got a little uncomfortable when you said that, bro.
It's just like them trying to get you to understand, you know,
where they're coming
from.
You're trying to hold on to something that it just isn't true. What it represents.
And when and the thing is even though you're saying that, we can't really look into your life and see that what you're saying that represents is your life an example of those things, because when you look deep enough, and you probably don't have to uncover more, but then you see their language, because most of these people who are saying this, when people do a little digging into their Twitter accounts, their Instagram, their Facebook, you do find out clearly what they want, you know, because they're exposing themselves.
Or what they're
they
about.
Can't help it. You know what I mean?
You guys heard about the Ahmaud Arbery shoot, the dude that killed him, that they dug into his like Facebook or something like that, and they found out that he was like posting all this racist stuff. You know, even though he tried to claim that, you know, it had nothing to do with that, and all these people were defending them, and you know, but the dude like was posting stuff about, you know, I love my job because I work on boats and I don't have to be around niggers, like all this stuff. Like, really, like he was dude was racist. You know what I mean?
And that's a sad thing, because think about it, right? The fact that the public can find this,
and
the police department can't find this, to dude, you got some issues. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? And be in charge of people's lives. You know what I mean? Because I think in today's world, because people talk about social media, I actually think social media is there's two sides of it, right? Where we're seeing the ugly side of humanity, but it's exposing a lot of people. You know what I mean? Just look at it as a way to.
It's amplifying what's already there.
I think
people can keep
there.
hidden a lot of times, or they think they're safe enough to only expose things in their circles, and then social media kind of like puts it all out there. Yeah,
it's
I
a bit
agree
of
with that.
New truth serum, if you will.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about. I want to talk about the CHAZ, or the CHOP that it's being called now. How much have you guys been?
I heard a little bit, but I just.
Okay.
I know a rapper is the guy in charge.
Yeah. There's a rapper.
What's his name?
His name is Raz.
Yeah, Raz from the CHAZ.
Raz from the CHAZ. He is the resident warlord. They're saying, but Let's start, if we can. The thread there, the very first video should be like a CNN video where they actually, and it's so funny because when you see the articles, as I was looking at this stuff, like the contrast between like the way CNN reports it, or the way like the New York Times reports it, or the way like Fox News reports it, it's like night and freaking day. You know what I'm saying? Like CNN is showing pictures of people with chalk paintings on the sidewalk, and it's like love and peace, and it's like we're just out here just trying to love each other, you know. And then Fox News is showing like buildings burning and people with guns and babies crying. It's like, it's hilarious, man. But yeah. Let's see what
Seattle's so-called Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, CHAZ for short. Several blocks of the city now taken over by protesters. After several days of violent clashes between police and the protesters, officers retreated from the area to de-escalate the tension. effectively abandoning their station. On Thursday, President Trump threatened to intervene, tweeting to Washington Governor Jay Inslee and Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkan to take back the city now, or he would. But protests have been calm and peaceful since the police left, and the mayor is pushing back.
That is more like a block party atmosphere. It's not an armed takeover. It's not a military junta.
You should know, leaving the precinct was not my decision.
Seattle's police chief publicly at odds with the decision to flee. Although not calling the mayor out by name, it's clear the two are not on the same page.
Ultimately, the city had other plans for the building and relented to severe public pressure. I'm angry about how this all came about.
Protesters say they won't be intimidated by threats and say they plan to stay as long as it takes to bring about change.
I'm not scared of Donald Trump, no, and I'm not scared of these police officers either. We're going to stay outside this building whether they come here or not. We're going to take this building over whether they're outside threatening us or not. We're not afraid of them.
Among the protesters' demands that the department be defunded and that the station be turned into a community center. One Seattle police officer candidly saying the department has made mistakes.
We want a dialogue. We want to communicate, right? But if the public is so angry at us, how do we start that? How do we do better? People expect better. We need to be better.
As for when the standoff might end, the mayor hasn't indicated, saying the city could have what she calls the summer of love, prompting another fiery tweet from the president. These liberal Dems don't have a clue. The terrorists burn and pillage our cities, and they think it is just wonderful. Even the death must end this Seattle takeover now.
Right, the occupation will last indefinitely, but I do see them.
But yeah, so they that's the idea of what it was. So the people were outside of the third police precinct, or I think it's like the East Precinct in Seattle, and they were standing off with the police. Like, they were out there protesting, throwing stuff, and the mayor tells them to leave the police station and evacuate it. And so, like, the whole city is just telling them, look, you guys just leave it, get out of there. So then police start leaving, and they leave it, and the people rush in and take it over, and then they immediately like start barricading this 6-block radius, which is hilarious when you think of the funny thing to me about the CHAZ was all of the things that people constantly say they're against. The people that are these like Antifa people that are out there protesting, and everything that they're against, that Donald Trump says, build a wall. First thing they do is build a wall around their area. You know what I mean? They're talking about, we don't, immigration, everyone, this is everyone's country. They're not letting everyone in there. You know what I mean? Like, they're checking people at the border and stopping, frisking people. You know what I mean? Like, all the things that they're against, they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a video that I have in there somewhere of a dude that came in there, and he came in there but just preaching. He came into the thing, and then he started preaching, and they like attacked this dude and put him in a chokehold and wrestled him to the ground. It's like
no preaching in the chat.
But people were making the comparison like, no, y'all are doing what happened to George Floyd.
Right.
Y'all are doing the same thing to this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy when you see what it's turning into there and the way the media is trying to spin it. Because at first maybe it was like the first. I think this is it right here. Look at that.
I am a free citizen. I am a free citizen in the autonomous zone.
Yeah. But yeah, we can go through some of those videos. I want to show, I don't even remember what I put in there, but you could, the next video I think is of the police chief speaking about how she disagrees with what they did. We don't really have to go into that because she kind of talked, but the police chief is totally against it. Yeah. And she's saying that I saw a video where she was talking about how, people are calling 911 for stuff that's happening in there.
My next question is, that's the protest that took that over. So the people who actually live there, they're under siege, basically.
But technically, they didn't take it over because they let them take it.
They didn't take it over, but that's how they're. They
didn't go into the precinct until the police left.
Yeah, there's this giant LARP that's happening in there where it's like, we're gonna pretend we seized this land and this is we're occupying this now and this is our sovereign nation now, and they didn't. It was given to them, and trust me, when the police are ready to take it back and when the country's ready to take it back,
Half an hour.
they're gonna be out of there.
Right.
But what was that you about to play? Oh yeah. So this is when they were first reporting on it, and it's hilarious what happens because you could see it as it was starting to go bad during the filming. They kept trying to like.
I know some of them are
There's a
armed.
medical tent. People are camping out. There's live music at night. They're watching movies. So it's sort of a
Look, someone getting rowdy. They're trying to not show it.
It began with force, but right now it's peaceful. Anderson.
And if the president were to, quote, go in as he's threatened, what would the response be? I mean, can people come and go from this area? I mean, is this an area that has been, I mean, the president makes it sound like this is an area that has been taken over and is being ruled by, somebody, is being ruled by.
What did he say?
I couldn't even understand what he said, but he's trying to stop them from filming.
I think he said no more press.
Yeah. Look. He's trying to get everybody. He's trying to get everybody to attack them right now. And they keep trying to move away because he doesn't want the story to get out there that this is not peaceful.
A bastion of free speech and people.
But it's live on CNN.
Now, if in fact there is going to be federal officers or federal law enforcement come to this area, it is not going to be a pretty situation. These people have made it clear that unless there's some kind of major reform, and remember, they want to see this police department defunded or even abolished, short of some type of major concession. They're not going to leave voluntarily. And we should point out that Washington is an open carry state. And no doubt some of these protesters are armed, Anderson. So you have to worry about the potential for bloodshed, the potential for violence, if in fact they're going to try to remove these people by force. Anderson?
But I thought they were peaceful.
Yeah. So how many, did they say how many were armed?
They don't know. They don't know. But there's another video in there of the dude Raz, pretty much handing out ARs to people. He had a trunk full of guns, and he just like handed them out to people.
Hey.
There's other videos of him like beating people up. There's other videos. There's a video in there of a dude who I guess he was one of the protesters there, but his car was parked in there and all the windows got smashed out and they stole his keys and they stole all his stuff, and he's in there like screaming like, fuck you guys. Like he's pissed because it's chaos. There's no law and order there. Oh yeah, this is Raz. That's Raz right there.
And then they'll be moving in a few minutes, so be ready.
Who's Raz?
The guy that just opened the trunk.
Somebody over there is 18.
SoundCloud rapper.
So he just asked them, is anybody over 18 that knows how to use a gun? And this dude says yes. And he just takes him at his word and hands him an AR. You gonna see.
Take the clip out and put it back in.
No one's gonna fucking ask me walking in here.
Nah, just come right back in.
Hell no, bruh.
Keep the bell down.
Hey, keep that down.
Hey, if they arrest me, you got my bond? I got you.
That dude, it looked like
Someone called you a proud boy.
That's a homie.
So he's now
the
quote unquote
police. He's now the quote unquote police / warlord enforcing law and order there, and it's crazy, dude. Like just watching how things devolve, and that's what they don't expect.
I mean, that it's America,
right? And they don't show that. They show the chalk drawings, and
right.
But they don't. Every building is fully spray painted in that zone. What does it say? The homeless people. Oh yeah, this tweet was funny. That's why I put it up because
homeless people be invited to go away all all the food at the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. We need more food to keep the area operational. Please, if possible, bring vegan meat substitutes. Fruits, oats,
soy products, etc.
Anything to help us.
That's Seattle for you, boy.
Vegan meat.
And then, okay. Now show the picture. So they were gonna grow. They started a garden to like sustain everyone there because they're their own country now. So let's take a look at their gardening. Look at that meme right there. What does that say? I can't read it.
In CHAZ Collective Farms, are non-binary. Not even Hebrews are straight.
God bless.
You see how that is the worst. That is the worst planning job. But so they don't know what they're doing, and they're in there just like it's like I said, it's a LARP. They're in there just pretending. They're playing, and the city's letting them do it for now because it's optics for them. It helps them with their agenda. The people that are the Democrats in that city, it helps them with their agenda.
Right.
And
I wonder if they're gonna film when they actually decide to take back the city. If they're gonna film what happens.
Somebody's gonna catch it on
I
camera.
think there's too many cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about what we're seeing right now. Did you hear about that? The lady that firebombed the police in New York, that they found out who she was, and she's facing life in prison now.
No,
like she threw a Molotov cocktail.
Oh yes, I did hear. Yep,
yeah,
that's right, yep.
But they found her because there's cameras everywhere.
Right.
Everyone's filming at all times, so they were able to find like piece footage together and find out who she was. Right. You know what I mean? And think about that. Like this dude, if you go on Twitter and you just type in Raz, there's so many videos of this dude and what he's doing.
Right.
Punching people.
Has any of the news stations aside from CNN showed this guy?
Aside from CNN?
Yeah. Like,
well, I'm pretty
sure.
I don't know. I don't watch them, but I'm pretty sure Fox is showing him nonstop.
Right.
Because their storyline is he's
criminal.
Kim Jong-un.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's in there chopping people's heads off with machetes right now.
He's a warlord.
Yeah, wow. But they're playing right now. It's a game.
Right.
They're in there spray painting everything. I did hear that they were extorting businesses, like telling them, if you don't pay a fee, we're going to smash up your stuff. I don't know if they've done any of that, but I did hear about people. I saw one video on Twitter where people posted a 911 call, and the dispatcher was like, "Oh, that's in the autonomous zone. They can handle it themselves." You know what I mean? It's like, nah, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Don't call the police for us. Wow. You set up your own thing. Right. Handle it. You know what I mean? Y'all want to have your own.
Yeah, but is that fair to the people that live there?
It's not. A lot of those people didn't push back against the protesters. You know what I mean? A lot of those people just let it happen.
What if they can't? They couldn't though.
That's true.
It's thousands of them, right?
That's a shame, man. I feel bad for the people that live there and have businesses there that don't want to be a part of that.
It's funny because this is like literally what pandering gets you.
Yeah,
it's like a kid who you just keep giving them food to shut them up,
or keep giving them everything he wants.
Everything they want. Yeah,
video games
and. They're never grateful.
Right.
That kid just wants more.
Right. And the moment you tell him no, then he's going to lash out. Yeah.
And but you ever see those, there's like videos of people like breaking their stuff or their video games or and they just go crazy.
Yeah. What was that old meme of that kid his mom like deleted his, she deleted his World of Warcraft account or something, and he went freaking crazy. Remember that was like a meme back in like 2010 or 11. Yo, remember how crazy that kid acted? Yo, he went nuts.
But they act like that because they know they can, and it's been building up. Like,
right,
you keep giving them. That they're so used to it. So now it's like, you've been giving me this, so now you're gonna try to take it away. I'm entitled to this.
Right.
It's like a whole different. That's like their justice. You know what I mean? Like they feel like they've been dealt an injustice.
Right.
When really it's like it's all privilege.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the people who live there, even if you did have a weapon and you shoot a couple of people, you don't know in today's world what could happen to you. You know what I mean? Even though it would be defending your house or your store, you could end up paying with your life, your family's life, especially your family live there. It could easily turn on you.
Yeah.
So it's just better to surrender and give it to them.
Right.
You know, because I remember in 1990, whenever the Rodney King thing was, there were a bunch of people that defended their store. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's clips of that.
And
There's
it
clips
backfired on them too.
But there's clips of that now too, of people that defended their stores. You know, a lot of people got shot because they went into the wrong store.
Right.
And people.
But I think people are afraid that even though they may be doing the right thing legally, the public perception,
Right.
the court of public opinion,
Social shame.
Yes, they will deem them because you break in. Because think about it, if you're a business owner and you're there, and these guys are breaking into your business, you're protecting your investment. If let's say your family live upstairs, you know, you're doing the right thing within your rights to protect your home, your business, whatever it is. Because of public pressure, you could now be deemed a murderer, and you pay the price. You're now the sacrificial lamb. So people are worried. I would be if I was there. And I mean, I don't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do in that circumstance.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean.
So what do we do? Yeah.
What do we do?
I'll let you handle that. Give it to me.
No, I'm just saying that's the power of prayer.
Right.
Yeah.
Prayer matters, you know.
You know where Jake was going with it.
Just have a to-go bag and ready to go.
No, I mean, what do we? Because there's only so much talking, and then you have to. You come to the end of what do you do?
Right. Where do we go
Where
from
do
here?
you go from here?
Yeah.
When it all stops making sense.
It really comes down to
new music,
praying, interceding for the people over there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that things don't go left. You know, in a whole nother way, and I'm left.
Right. Right.
What do you guys think about? Not the defunding the police, but reforming. What do you guys think about that?
I think there's definitely room for that. I think there's room for figuring out like how we got here, where the police system has all of these holes in it. You know what I mean? Has all of these
corruption,
all this corruption, all of these people that are abusing their authority. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think it goes beyond like police. It's about mayors,
right?
You know, mayors are like presidents.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mini
governors,
right. Governors, mayors.
It's about the councils or the Congress, you know, or the state legislation,
right? The whole system needs to be.
It's not that it like the system's not bad. I was talking to him about this. It's the people in it. It's the corruption in it. Like it's some council member or some guy in the legislative branch who got a brother in construction, you know, and he's getting him all the bids. It's all about how I can get over and how I can get the ones who I need to get over my family or my friends or whatever. You know, everybody's trying to get over, so it's corrupt in that way. Those people need to be ousted, and in my opinion, true people need to don't complain about it. Don't just complain about it. It's funny. Be the change,
right?
You know, but you can literally.
Well, that's what same thing those celebrities were saying. So, but
they're not doing that. But you know, take a responsibility and
go vote.
If in a way you can, you know, even if it's what you're doing right now, like don't be a hypocrite.
Right.
Do all this corrupt stuff in what you're doing. And people know like the little things they're doing, the lying, the cheating, the
getting over
and feeling like, well, it's okay because he's doing it. And he's doing like if you're doing that, then you're just corrupting things for everybody.
Right.
You know, and
everyone's working off of corruption.
Nobody's holding themselves accountable, because they're like, well, they're doing it, so I'm just getting over on them because they do it to me if they had the chance,
right?
You know, so it's like, okay, but nobody's upholding anything. Nobody's upholding any truth. So there is
being the standard. No one's raising the
Nobody's raising the standard.
And we're not the public, the local public in your city, your town, whatever. We're not holding the locally affected elected officials accountable. We're not going to those meetings. We're not making our presence felt to find out if our local mayor does own a construction company and if his brother is the one who's getting all the bids.
Right.
We're not really looking at that to spot it. By the time we find out, it's already way too big. And I think we have to be more proactive if we want to fix this. Go in from the local level, because people only are concerned about it every 4 years.
Right.
People are concerned about illegal immigration every 4 years.
People are only concerned about stuff when it actually affects them.
Yeah.
Like this stuff with George Floyd.
Right.
Like, I get it. It's wrong, but it's been
right.
Like, things have been corrupt. And I'm talking about, like, it's not just that cops are messed up, like some cops
Right.
are doing what they're doing. It's also because of the state and the mentality in a lot of black communities.
Right.
Because when you go in and you see the ignorance and the I guess you just call it ignorance that happens. Like, a lot of people who aren't from there wouldn't be able to handle it either. And the more you're there, you get jaded from it, and it annoys you too. Like, that people don't get that point.
Right.
They don't see it from that side because they don't have to deal with it.
Right. Yeah.
So there is and then people who are in it, they just get they get numb to it. So they're not seeing it because you're there all the time. It's like when you come into a house that stinks, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, damn, it stinks in here. But
after a while, you get
used
desensitized to it, right?
Yeah, right. So I think it's just those things. And so it takes us seeing one thing, like, and then saying, okay, how do we do this? And either going to somebody that you trust or praying to someone that you trust, do you really trust him?
Right.
Are you really going to, we show what we trust in. We invest in what we trust in, truly.
Right.
And if we don't trust in him, then we're not going to invest in him. And then we won't see anything happen in our lives. Right. But we can't keep on pointing the finger at everybody else. Take responsibility.
Right. Start with yourself.
If it's just recognition and then asking, how can I change this? Asking the Father, you know what I mean? And I'm saying that for a reason, because fathers, leaders, asking the Father, like, how can this be changed? And it can be. There's hope. If there's no hope, then just keep doing what you're doing and see what happens.
Right.
You're just going to keep having the same stuff happen. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. But I want to believe in more. I have hope for it. So what do? I pray. I don't have the answers, but I know that the answers are in him. So I pray. He shows me things. I relate that to people that I can relate that to, who are willing to see it, to receive it.
Or it comes out in song.
It comes out in song. And what that does is when people are open, it creates communion, community, communion, genuineness, heart poured out. People, a lot of times people, they don't want to receive you at first because they're like, what's your angle? What do you want from this? But once they see that you're genuine, it takes time. It's not going to be overnight, just like anybody. You got to get to know people. But a lot of people they want the quick thing.
Right.
They want the quick fix, And I will say, like, you guys know, prayer works. We've been praying for Camden, New Jersey since 2007, I guess, officially. And we've seen major change in the city. Of course, there's still stuff going on, but compared to how it was back then, like, we've seen it change. And that's just from praying. That's just from going around the city, consistently praying into the city, hoping for the city. And it wasn't something we said, let's do it. This is something that God led us into, and you see the change that happens because you hope for it. But if you're not doing anything, then you really can't say anything.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Phoebe said there are scientific-based tests to weed out the people who are not meant to work in law enforcement. Why are they not used to weed out the people who are not meant to be in law enforcement?
Because just like there's scientific-based tests, there's people that know how to cheat those tests. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There's people that know how to answer the questions in the right way that's going to get them the job anyway.
And,
you know what I mean?
nepotism, a form of
Yeah, nepotism.
Yeah.
It's
you can
all-
cheat a lie detector test.
Yeah, I mean, I think those tests are haven't been like they're scientifically based, but they haven't. How accurate are they? You know what I mean? Just like the coronavirus tests are scientifically based, but there's so much misinformation.
I think the
out
lie
there.
detector test is not admissible.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not because
Mm-hmm.
it's too. It's not something that can be used as evidence because it can be flawed. You know what I mean? So
you're not what you have to go through, like just as a cop, like the stress situations that you're put in. How do you test for that ahead of time?
Right.
A lot of things we suppress and we don't pay attention to. They're so divided from ourselves, and they don't come out until we get into those situations. You know,
Right.
And if we've never been in those situations, you know, it's hard to deal with that. You have to have training, of course, but you have to have leaders who have been through it, and they don't have corruption. Like if you've been through it, and this is basic stuff, you can spot people who they're not gonna cut it. They're not gonna cut it. They're not gonna fit. You know, if you're a carpenter and you see somebody who don't got skills, like, but that's not a thing anymore.
Right.
You know, it's about quick fix.
It's about we need people to fill these jobs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people they talk about that. It's hard to find people that want to be cops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you end up filling the jobs with people that maybe shouldn't be there.
Right.
You know,
And part of it is culture too, because we are obsessed with police behavior and stuff like. So you get a lot of guys who are really amped up. They're ready to go out there.
Right.
They have no compassion for people.
Mhm.
They're not. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's if you slow down and talk to somebody, I think you probably get more results. You know what I mean?
Right. But think about it. Imagine you're in a neighborhood where every time you try to talk to somebody, you're met with no everyone thinks you're the enemy. You know what I mean?
On a daily basis.
And then
that's
you're-
partly
and-
what Jake was just
And
talking
then
about.
when you're constantly, the only people that you feel like have your back, or the only people that you feel like will, listen to you and talk to you are the
All
other
your
cops.
cops, yeah.
So then you start psychologically aligning yourself with them as people that they're on your side,
Yeah.
and those people are the
No, I
enemy.
understand it, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how this divide.
And you're really just
happens.
venting
Right.
your emotions.
Right.
And then the opposite is the same thing the cop is doing. The
They're
people in
doing
the neighborhood
it.
are doing
They're
too.
doing the same thing
And they're
because
both-
every time they interact with cops, it's someone's getting arrested, someone's getting their head bust open, somebody's getting thrown on the ground. So it's like cops signify bad things, and it just continues that divide. And I think there's there's a reason why it happens more in big cities, because the way those cities are run. You know what I mean? The people that are in positions of power there, the amount of people that are there, the amount of cops that are needed there. Like, how do you fill all those jobs with people that should be qualified? You know, like, it's not like the military. They have to go through boot camp.
That's what
in a certain way.
Kathleen Stiles, and I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
she just
That's
said
why I laughed at it. Kathleen Stiles says should go through boot camp like soldiers have to, and because you get put through stressful,
Right.
a stressful
They do
environment.
that, right?
Right.
A soldier explained that. He said that he was telling me that when they were the first, after 9/11, it was like 2003 they went over, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For 2 years they had an aggressive tactic, but what was happening was they were getting a lot of small insurgents. It wasn't a full-on war. It was more like sort of guerrilla attacks, right? And they recognized that a lot of soldiers were dying and getting injured bad because it was the women, the kids, everybody was getting involved in putting these little bombs on the street. You run over a tire, every shrapnel kills you.
Yeah.
So they started realizing
They had to change their tactic.
this tactic isn't working. We're losing a lot of lives, and we need to change this. So they started focusing on communication with the people, because the mother who really doesn't know, she doesn't have a TV, she has no idea what 9/11 is. She is not looking at that. She just saw a soldier kill her kid. So to her, I want revenge.
Right.
I'm doing this for my son. She doesn't understand what's happening in the United States. So they decided to refocus the training on the people interaction,
Right.
treating them with a certain respect. And he said that it started to work.
Right.
outreach
not only
or
that,
whatever it is.
the soldiers had to totally rechange their approach.
Right.
They went in guns blazing first
Right.
and kill everybody.
Right.
And then it had to be like, all right, talk first. Don't
Talk
shoot
first.
anyone.
Right.
You know, and I've heard a lot of them
Right,
talk
right.
about that. Like if we
More
could do
protecting
that,
the neighborhood.
But that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like if we can do that with people from another country,
right?
Police should be trained to do that here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
With their own citizens.
Kathleen Stiles says yes, accountability as well as discipline, communication, train for that. And yeah, there has to be an accountability. There like when she said discipline, I was just thinking about like a form of discipleship. Like you have to be willing. It's you can tell the ones who want to get into something,
Right.
Like with what we do, right? And we have people who come in, right?
Right.
You can tell the ones who are out for themselves,
Mhm.
and you don't really have to like bring that up to them. You just put them through the test, and eventually it reveals it.
And they either go away or it
Right.
comes out. Yeah.
So you're saying that
wanted
the kid who's amped up, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's gonna kill somebody.
No, it's just like you kind of have to put them through the paces. you
because
know?
people
I think
like,
boot camp is a good idea though.
Yeah.
But it's more, I think it's more about like discipleship. But when you got people who are in it already and they're like, these are the guys that they're looking up to, and these guys are prideful and all, jaded, and a lot of them corrupt. And it doesn't mean that they're taking money. I mean, corrupt in terms of like
Their behavior.
Right. Yeah. Because of what they've seen there.
Yeah,
this
they've
is
allowed
what
it to
is.
twist them too. Right.
Yeah.
Yo, I know that Nana. He wasn't a cop, but he was in corrections. He did like a boot camp type of thing.
Yeah.
For like a month.
But I think that's
I don't
more
know.
academy, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
police.
Yeah.
That's the academy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like the rigorous that like the military goes through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's in
The only one is the state police. The state police is very close towards that.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think, I truly believe that it has to do with people and the leaders and holding each other accountable.
Right.
It can't be like, don't call me your brother
Right.
when you don't even really care about me. And you only care about me if I care about the things you care about. It's about being friends. Like a friend is somebody who you speak to one another and really care about how they feel.
And even if you disagree on things,
Right.
even if you don't,
Yeah, you can.
Right.
you can
Well,
work
why
through
do
it.
you feel that way?
Right.
And I think like that's not even happening within a lot of systems.
Yeah.
And those things need to happen. But how does it happen? It starts from the top. It starts from the top.
Right.
Nobody's holding these people accountable.
Right. I do like what Camden has done with the beat cop, getting the cops out of squad cars and having them walk the beat, interact with the neighbors, get to see their faces a little bit. I think it did change the dynamic of what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that does help. You know what I mean?
It could be better.
But from what it was,
But from what it was,
yes,
yeah.
It improved it, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. It's like you remember back in the day when we were playing soccer and that guy came on the field every other Sunday, was harassing you guys?
Oh yeah.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Right.
With the coffee.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when the police came, what was his reaction?
His reaction was to believe that guy first,
Right.
And like tell us we had to leave.
He didn't see a man harassing some guys just playing on a Sunday. He
Right.
saw a guy protecting property.
Right.
That's how he saw it.
Right.
Because I was standing there and I watched his interaction. His interaction was more or less like,
And he was a black cop.
he was a black cop.
Yeah.
Right. And when I looked at his interaction, he immediately saw a bunch of young guys.
Right.
So he assumed that you guys were the ones.
Right.
You guys have to be, because he took his side.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that
But after we talked to him, he kind of realized.
after.
He kind of realized, okay, He still didn't want to take our side, but he was kind of like, all right, I don't know what to do here.
But imagine if he was like a 54-year-old
right.
man,
right,
Caucasian man.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely, he probably wouldn't have taken your side.
Right.
You know what I mean? He would have probably taken his side, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. It's we're asking people do you have the ability to understand a situation?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think a lot of times it's,
and I think cops don't necessarily get the best training in that way.
Yes.
Where it's like walk into a situation, assess it, and de-escalate it, and figure out, you know,
what is this?
Yeah.
But that comes from you need to be discipled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You need to be discipled. And like, all right, what are you doing in this? Like, watch how I do it. Like, there's so many videos of cops just snapping.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, you have a lot of rude, ignorant people, and it gets worse and worse and worse.
Reacting to them.
Disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Because even that situation you were talking about, there's a way you handle it. There's a way you talk to people.
Right.
Even if even if there is a cop snapping on me, you can always de-escalate the situation. You know, of course, some people are not going to listen. Some people are going to stay in their pride.
Right.
But
yeah.
But for you to get pulled into that same pride, is where
you just amped him up.
Right.
There's always a way to not get pulled into that. You know.
Yeah. There's no need to have the last. I feel like people want to have the last word.
Right.
I want to. You know, it's like calm down, relax. You know.
Yeah. We're all guilty of that.
I keep thinking about Training Day, about that movie. What's the dude, the white dude's in it? Ethan Hawke. So he's the young cop that's eager to learn and he really wants to do good in the community. Mm-hmm. And he's being discipled by someone who is trying to bring him into what it really is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Instead of like what you're talking about. Like imagine if there's someone over him that can really teach him the way to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen.
Like an apprenticeship.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I'm the one that's going to show you how we do this, like how we make our money, how we get over on people, you know.
He's showing the cop side.
And I think there are a lot of people out there. Like I don't think the police system is nearly as bad as they're trying to portray it.
Right.
Of course there's corruption, and of course it can get a lot better. But they take it to a whole nother level.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
of course.
Yeah, just
I've seen
and it's not as great as you know the right wing people try to make it. They try to act like all cops are heroes and you can't ever say anything bad about cops, and then the other side is cops are murderers and they need to be defunded and totally eliminated from society.
And I think it's just coming back to have a little heart, a little compassion. I saw one where this neighbor called on some kids playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Now it was like 3 p.m. They're just playing basketball.
Yeah.
She calls the cop on them, but when the cop comes, he's a younger white guy. He doesn't react the way the neighbor. She wanted them to get rid of them for whatever reason. They were. I don't know if it's a she or he, but whoever they were bothered by the kids playing basketball. But when he came, he just approached. He didn't even tell them what he was there for. He's like, "What you guys doing?" And he's like, "Toss me the ball." He started playing basketball with them. Mm-hmm. What he just did was build a little bit of a bridge. So when they get older, you know what I mean?
They don't have that fear, you know.
You know what I mean?
We had, when we were growing up, we had cops that would do that with us. Like throw a football back and forth with us.
Right.
And this was before all the...
Right.
I mean, I think you hit it on the nose, though. Like you said that 2 times already. Compassion.
Yeah.
Show them that you're just a person.
Right.
And you build that bridge to those kids. So in that moment, you could say, hey, kids, you could talk to them and be like, hey, you know what? You know, this lady or this person or whatever, and just explain to them, don't be loud, enjoy your game. And then go talk to that person and be like, listen, it's around this time, kids are outside playing. Because some people they just take it too far.
Yeah.
You know, I had a neighbor. I have a neighbor. I have a neighbor, right? We have a little boy outside. Now, he does play, and he is a little loud and boisterous, but she is trying to get me. She's like, isn't he loud?
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it? I'm like, what are we?
She wants
join my team.
She's like, she's scared to be Karen on her own.
Right.
So
She wants me.
Yeah.
She wants me to do it. And I'm like,
he's a kid.
I was like, this kid has been cooped up here for like 2 months.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she just wants peace and quiet.
Right. She don't want to hear no
So
kids.
him playing
on her terms.
Right.
So him playing outside. yeah, he's a little loud.
rambunctious,
He's having
yeah.
fun, his little boys. The only thing I came outside was like, listen, fellas, do me a favor. Don't, because they were right on the lawn. I was like, don't throw the ball here because you guys could miss and hit one of the cars. You can just go right over there and play. Just do that for me.
Right.
And they were like, all right.
Yeah.
And they did it. But she was trying to pull me into how outraged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We need to do something about this.
Well, she wanted me to do this. She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I think we should
By
say-
we, I mean you.
Right. And I think that's what it is we can't sympathize and empathize with people that we were once at that stage in our life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw a video. Sorry to cut you off, but I saw a video along those lines on Twitter of this young little black girl who was out at one of the protests, and this young white cop, a woman, was coming up to her to talk to her, and she starts freaking out, like she gets so scared.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then the lady just starts like, hold on, like, I just wanted to talk to you. I just wanted to come say hi. You know what I mean? And she starts trying to like open up that dialogue. Like she's like, you don't have to be scared. You know what I mean? Like you're allowed to be out here. It's fine. Like just don't break nothing and you're good, you know? But the girl was so scared. She was like crying, you know what I mean? Because you look at like everything the girl's seeing, she can't make sense of it. And to her, the cops are the enemy now. You know what I mean? So this lady's coming up to her to hurt her. You know what I mean? But it was just crazy to see that dynamic, and the lady was like understanding that and trying to bridge that gap.
And like you said, you got one side saying all cops are bad, One side saying no cops bad, they're all good. And I think we got they're human beings. We
The
all
truth
make
is
mistakes.
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, you got Black Lives Matter and you got Blue Lives Matter.
Right.
And it's like, no, stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, don't make it one side and then the other side, because then it turns into a whole.
All right, guys, let's just sing. Come on.
Kumbaya.
No, I like I said, it involves a form of compassion and just learning how to talk to people, and I think you'll get better results. And at the same time, a lot of times we have to check our egos too. When you get pulled over, there's a certain way to handle that situation, even though you may feel that the cop is doing a certain thing. There's no need to get an attitude, to get aggressive, because you just escalated that even more. They're not going to be like, oh, God, this guy has an attitude. Put away your gun. Let's get out of here. You know what I mean?
But why are you getting attitude? Why are you getting aggressive? Because you're already in your pride. Like, a lot of times.
Something you got to deal with.
You already feel like you got to say something. Or what's going on?
Yeah. Like I said, I
vice versa. I just saw a video of this cop, and the guy was being rude. He was like saying little smart stuff, right? And he's trying to write down his name or whatever, and the guy was like saying stuff, but not loud, just like being rude. He throws down his pencil in bed and like grips him up and puts his hands behind his back, and is like, dude, you just snapped. Like, and you could see like it was gonna happen.
Right.
But
he got fed up in that moment.
He doesn't know how to deal with his emotions. You know what I mean? That's like the problem. Like a lot of these, they don't know how to deal with their emotions.
They're ready to grip anybody. Someone said this to me. I don't know if you guys feel about this, but it said that the person who really wants to be should not, and the person who doesn't want to be should.
Right.
Like in terms of like certain things, like the guy who wants to be a cop. I've always dreamt about that guy. You know what I mean?
Right. He's gonna be too gung ho out there.
Yeah, he's gonna be too gung ho.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have seen it. Can you sing? Come on, man. Give me the mic.
Give me that mic. Let me get on stage. Yeah.
Nah, dude, get out of here. Right. I want to shout out my boy Chuck, my fellow conspiracy theorist. I deliver to his job, and we talk. I should be delivering packages and
you're just telling yourself.
You're telling on yourself right now. This is
not.
why my FedEx stuff ain't coming.
That's right.
This is because of you.
Speaking
I'm
of,
still waiting on them chairs. I had to cancel that order today.
For real.
Because they don't know when them chairs are coming, so I got to reorder them.
I'm telling you, it's messed up somewhere in the building, bro. I ain't got nothing to do. No, I just want to say what's up with Chuck.
What's up, Chuck?
He's watching for the first time. I just told him that we do a podcast. He was like, yo, I'm hooked to you guys.
What's up, Chuck? You guys want to do a song before we get out of here, or no?
Wrote a song about it, like to hear.
You guys want to do a little Beautiful Eyes since it just came out? Commemorate it.
All right.
It's up to you.
It's up to y'all.
Yeah, I guess.
You already said it. He can't be like, nah, I don't want to do it.
We don't have to. I mean, we can. For the few people that are still watching, we'll do a song real quick. we didn't get to everything. I wanted to get to the fact that Fauci admitted they lied about the mask. Did y'all hear about that?
What?
Yeah.
So then why are we still wearing masks?
No. He admitted that they lied about. This is why you can't make sense of it, because he's in the article. It says that he lied. He said that they said not to wear masks at first because there wasn't enough masks for the hospitals, so they didn't want people to wear masks so that the hospitals could have them. Oh boy! But then a bunch of people died from not wearing masks, so it's like
made a mistake there.
Yeah. So it's just this crazy thing. But the fact is that they admitted that they're lying to people for other agendas. You know what I mean?
Chuck just sent me a video of a nurse that worked in the Epic Center Hospital in New York.
Mm-hmm.
She recorded doctors, saying if a person tested negative of coronavirus, say that they test positive and just put them in with the people who have COVID.
Wow.
So that eventually, when their tests come in 5 days later,
right,
they might have coronavirus. And this, she had a fight. This nurse had a fight with one of the doctors because dude was he was a healthy dude at first. He came in, he couldn't breathe, but they ended up putting him on a ventilator. So they put him on a ventilator, and when you go on this ventilator, it's like a drip.
Mm-hmm.
There's she named the list of drugs that was in it. It was 10 different drugs, like fentanyl, all them type of stuff. And she was like, once somebody goes on there, they're dying.
Dude, so that's what I've been seeing. That it's 70-80% of people that get put on ventilators end up dying.
Yeah, because they're drugged up.
Right.
And then
their body can't breathe.
Their body
on its
can't
own.
breathe on its own, even if they make it out of the ventilator.
Right.
They'll be brain dead. This is what she said. She was crying over this person because he was about to die, and she wanted to give him an EpiPen or something like that. I forgot the terminology, but she was like, "Yo, they murdered this guy." And they kept on saying we can't do it because of the higher ups. They said that we can't. We just gotta let him die. So I gotta send y'all the video. I only watched 40 minutes of it. It's
That's
an hour
crazy,
and a half.
Man. I'm hearing a lot of stuff like that. Now the narrative is, we were talking about this over the weekend. Memorial Day is the cause for the spike and everything. And I just saw an article from some paper was talking about it was all over New York, that they're saying anyone who tests positive for COVID now, not to ask them if they were in any protests. They're being told not to ask them that.
Right.
Keep that out of the conversation.
Wow.
Because they don't want the protests attached to, you know what I mean?
Because they don't want it to stop.
Right.
Yeah.
So they asked them about Memorial Day and reopening, but the
guy's oh, by the way, I went to protest. Don't say that. Jeez.
Didn't hear that. Yeah.
Wow.
But all right, let's do a little Beautiful Eyes. I'm gonna plug the guitar in.
Let's sing.
It got hot in here.
Oh, you got this.
Why are you leaving, James?
I'm going to try and kick bumps.
Yeah, so, I guess we can talk about Beautiful Eyes a little bit while we're sitting here waiting for Jamie. How do you like it, Mom? You weren't here when we played it.
No, I heard y'all listening to it, though. Yeah. I came in when you were singing a little bit of it while I was playing.
Was it?
Yeah, you see, you didn't even know. You liked the song so much, you didn't even know you were singing it.
Okay, so, again, what do you think what does it say to you? What does it speak to you?
Beautiful Eyes? Yeah. Beautiful Eyes, open and fine. It's to me, just open your eyes. It's it kind of tells me, reminds me all the time. It's right in front of your nose. It's right there, but what we do as people is we try to do. I know you say this to me all the time. You try to do it yourself.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But God is right there. You
Yeah.
got to open your eyes to see. Grass is always greener on the other side. That's a phrase that they use all the time. You know what I mean? Like you're always reaching. As I'm talking, I'm thinking of other songs that pretty much is the same meaning. By the river, you go out and you try to search for, this and that, and the magic or whatever like that. But
Back to life. I was waiting for the magic.
Take me back home.
Yeah.
Take me home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you getting guitar there? Yeah, it's in there.
I think this song is definitely for now. I wrote it mostly like back in 2007, and I remember writing it, and for me, God was literally saying like, "This isn't for now."
Yeah.
In 2007,
I clearly remember you saying that.
Yeah, and like most of our songs, you start to understand it more later on in life, as it starts to reveal itself. That's why we call our music kind of like prophetic music, because it speaks to eternity in a way, right? Right at the beginning, it's about truth. Why do we turn away when the truth is staring in our face? And it's about not wanting to look at truth because we're afraid. It's really about afraid to face the darkness, not wanting to look at the darkness like a kid afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
And but when you're in the dark, your eyes, when you really face the dark, your eyes start to adjust to that light, that actually is in the dark. If you don't run out of the darkness, your eyes start to adjust. And God is in the darkness.
Praise you, Jesus.
And he begins to break his light through the darkness. And that's what it's about. It's about breaking that light. Because if you don't, you're going to continue going through those cycles of life. And your eyes will never be really opened because you're afraid to go there. So, yeah. Why do we turn away when the truth's staring in our face? Maybe we don't want to know what's on the other side. We won't ever know until we try. So much is going on across this land, but we can't understand what's been happening, my friends, 'cause we don't want to know what's on the other side. And no one wants to know. We're preoccupied, worried about our lives, living in vain to make everything right. Beautiful eyes, open and find. Beautiful eyes are yours and mine. We're living on for the day when this week is done. Then we're gonna dance our cares away till the morning comes, 'cause we don't want to know what's on that other side. It's easier just to go on like everything's alright, alright, alright. But is it really alright? Beautiful eyes, open and find. Beautiful eyes are yours and mine. How will we ever get to see tomorrow when we've been blinded by yesterday? 'Cause for too long our
I've been running from all my sorrows, but somehow I keep ending up in the same place. I can never seem to get away. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah. I know we can. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Maybe we'll try. Maybe we'll try today. Maybe we'll try. Maybe we'll try. Try and open our eyes. Whoa, those beautiful eyes. Yeah, your beautiful eyes. Oh, your beautiful eyes. Open and find what you hide. Those beautiful eyes. All right, guys. That's it for this one. We're going to hit you guys up next week when we go live again for the next episode. Will be episode 63. Appreciate everyone watching. Make sure you go stream Beautiful Eyes right now on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, everywhere. It's on YouTube, all that good stuff. You can catch us on our website, jatan.com, patreon.com/youngliontv. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week.
Young lion gon' live, yeah.